The biggest money mistake I see young professionals make has nothing to do with how much they're saving. It's actually the order of their savings. I had a client, 2 years out of college, earning $80,000 a year, putting $600 a month into a Robinhood account. Less than 1 month of expenses and savings, a credit card balance at 22% APR, never enrolled in his employer's 401k, Roth IRA was mostly in cash, and his HSA was also entirely in cash. We didn't add more money, we fixed the order. Same income, same savings, completely different outcome. In this video, I'll walk you through the 9 steps in the right sequence so your money is actually doing what you think it is. After working with young professionals across the country, the single most common problem I see is not that people aren't saving, it's that they're doing the right things just in the wrong order. And the cost is real. None of these problems comes from a lack of motivation. These are people who are trying, genuinely. They just skip steps, and skip steps compound. Here are the 9 steps in the right order. Let's go through them. Step 1, build your emergency fund first. Before you invest a single dollar, before you aggressively pay down your credit card debt, you need 3 to 6 months of living expenses living in a high-yield savings account. This is the foundation that everything else sits on. Without it, any unexpected expense can derail your entire financial plan. An unexpected medical bill, car repair, losing your job. If you don't have the cash, you're either pulling from investments at the worst possible time or adding high-interest credit card debt on top of your existing debt. Quickly, a small step back becomes a crisis. The emergency fund is not an investment. Its job is to protect your plan. Park 3 to 6 months in a high-yield savings account and leave it alone. My client had less than 1 month saved. Everything was sitting on a cracked foundation. We fixed that first. Step 2, capture every dollar of your employer match. Once your emergency fund is in place, this is where your investment dollars go first. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute at least enough to get the full match before doing anything else. Here's what that looks like. Let's say you're earning $80,000 a year and your employer matches 50% of your contributions up to 4% of your salary. You contribute 4%. That's $267 a month. Your employer adds $1,600 a year. That's a 50% guaranteed return before the market does anything. Nothing in investing beats a guaranteed 50% return. If you're not capturing the full match, you're walking past free money every day, period. Log into your benefits portal, find your 401k, set the contribution amount to get the full match. It comes out before you see it. Do it once, forget about it. Step 3, attack high interest debt. If you're carrying debt above 7 to 8%, typically credit cards or certain personal loans or student loans, that debt comes before investing further. Think about it this way. Paying off a credit card at 20% APR is a 20% risk-free return. There's no investment that can reliably beat that. Putting money into the stock market while carrying 20% debt is mathematically backwards. My client had a credit card at 22% APR while contributing $600 a month to the Robinhood account. We paused the brokerage, eliminated the credit card debt, and then rebuilt from step 2. For lower interest debt like student loans or mortgage, it's less clear. Your interest rate, tax situation, and how much the debt weighs on you emotionally can all factor into that gray zone. In that gray zone, doing both usually makes sense, but above 7 to 8%, paying off the debt first wins every single time. Step 4, maximize your tax advantage accounts. For most young professionals, the priority order is this. First, funding your Roth IRA. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,500 per year. That's $625 a month. After-tax dollars go in, and it grows tax-free. The money you withdraw in retirement is tax-free. For most people in their 20s and 30s who are in a lower tax bracket now than they'll be later, the Roth is the right call. You can open one at Schwab, Fidelity, or Vanguard, set a recurring monthly transfer, and make it automatic. Second, an HSA if you're on an HSA-eligible high-deductible health plan. These accounts are triple tax advantage. Pre-tax contributions, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals on qualified medical expenses. No other account in the tax code gives you all 3. The 2026 individual limit is $4,400 a year. Invest the balance in index funds and let it grow. My client's HSA was entirely in cash since the day he enrolled. That's money sitting in a checking account with a complicated name and more restrictions. After that, the priority order depends on your situation. If you want more tax-free growth and you won't need the money until your retirement, increase your 401k contributions beyond the match. If you have medium-term goals where you'll want access before retirement, a taxable brokerage may make more sense. No tax advantages, but no restrictions on when you can use the funds. Inside all of these accounts, the answer for most people is the same. Low-cost, broadly diversified index funds. Obviously, your portfolio depends on your risk tolerance, your goals, the timeline of said funds, and this is why it's so important to consult with a financial professional or investment advisor. Step 5, Build a cash flow system that runs itself. A budget you have to actively manage every day will not survive in real life. The goal is to build a system where you get your paycheck, savings, investments, debt, bills are all handled automatically, and what's left is yours to spend without the guilt, fitting into certain guardrails that you set ahead of time to ensure that you're paying yourself first by automating your savings, investments, and debt. When money moves automatically to the right places, you remove the decision-making and willpower from the equation entirely. You don't skip months because the market looks rough. You don't forget because you're busy. You just build wealth steadily and slowly every single month without even thinking about it. Set up your budget and system once and then review it monthly. That's it. Step 6, plan for taxes year-round, not just in April. The decisions that determine your tax bill happen throughout the year. Which accounts you're contributing to, when you realize gains, whether you're doing a Roth conversion. By the time you're sitting with your tax preparer in April, most of the decisions are already locked in. Filing is looking at what happened. Planning is shaping what will happen before it does. Step 7, build a retirement plan around actual numbers. Saving 10 to 15% is a starting point and a good rule of thumb, but it doesn't serve as an actual plan. A real plan starts with your target retirement age, desired lifestyle, current savings, expected Social Security benefit, and then works backwards to a specific monthly savings number. $1 invested at 25, growing at 8% annually, is worth roughly 5 times as much at 65 as $1 invested at 45. The earlier you have a real plan, the more time you have to adjust it. Step 8, plan ahead for major life events. The biggest financial mistakes often happen in big transitions when you have a lot on your plate. Marriage, buying a house, changing jobs, starting a family. Decisions made quickly under pressure have decade-long consequences. What a lender approves and what you should spend are two very different numbers. Being house poor, where housing absorbs so much of your income that every other goal becomes impossible, is one of the most common mistakes that I see. These decisions are much easier to make correctly with preparation rather than being under pressure. Lastly, step 9. Work with a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor. A fee-only fiduciary financial advisor earns no commissions and is legally required to act in your best interest. A good advisor doesn't just manage your investments. That is a small component of what they should be doing for you. They should be bringing in your tax planning, cash flow system, savings, debt, life events, retirement, the whole 9 yards into one coordinated financial plan. The earlier you can get that kind of help, the larger the compounding effect on every decision made correctly from the start. If you're a young professional looking for that kind of relationship, head to ValaireFinancial.com and book a free intro call. We'll look at your full financial picture, talk about what a plan and working together would look like, and make sure your money is working through the right steps in the right order. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for new videos every single week on financial planning questions that are relevant to young professionals in your situation.